welcome everybody to I Wanna Know. This week's topic is about fear and also about how to debunk your own possible paranormal experience. I'm Beth Luscombe from Access Paranormal, and this particular week's question came from somebody who actually listened to the podcast, Access Paracast, where I actually had an experience and recorded it. And it was me in Prospect Place, and as I walked in, I was quite overcome by a particular situation, and you probably have to listen to it to understand a little bit more, but it's something that really rattled me. And someone who had listened to this particular podcast actually said, oh, so how do you actually deal with fear generally? And investigating over a few years, I've gotten better and better. And it made me really think about the fact that I know with a lot of people when they investigate, for myself, I tend to, there are times I do get scared. There are times where I will hesitate. There are times where I feel a bit, when I go into a bit of a place. And I think it's completely normal. I also know that when I work with other investigators, there are some that are just ironclad, and I just take my hat off to them. I think it's brilliant that they're able to have that ability to walk in the face of fire and not feel that fear. And one thing I think from my experience is that a lot of people, hello everybody, oh hi Barbara and Vicky, oh hello Karen, a lot of people in the field, from my experience, when it comes to fear, it's almost like it's a bit of a weakness. And after a while, when you start to look at the science and the psychology side of it and all that kind of stuff, you begin to understand the beauty of fear. And I know that sounds really, really strange, but the fact it's just our bodies just trying to keep us alive. And I've, oh, cool. Awesome. I'm glad, Vicky, you loved it. Oh, awesome. Great. Good. Yes, there was me literally having a scary moment. But yes, is it literally your body trying to get it to survive? So, it's being able to keep yourself here. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. And it's not a weakness. It's actually a strength. And as I said, I think working alongside other investigators who are very, very ironclad with their fear. I know I work alongside Andrea Cowdy quite a lot, and she's somebody who sees and senses a lot more than I would ever do, and she can walk into the darkest pits of hell, and I'm kind of trailing after her, going, "Wait for me!" Just kind of just going through. But she has no fear when it comes to that kind of stuff, and yet she is somebody who actually sees and senses a lot more than me. So, but I believe that fear is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, and it shouldn't be something as investigators that we should be ashamed of, and it shouldn't be something that should be looked upon as a weakness. So that's a big thing for me. So I think the first thing is to be able to embrace the fact that sometimes we do. Now, I've gotten a lot better over the time because when I first started investigating in the UK, there were some beautiful buildings, Tudor buildings, and all this wonderful historic stuff. But there were sections that I couldn't find myself going into, and I missed out investigating those places because I didn't get my fear under control. So there is the other flip side as well, where it can actually stop you. It's particularly for me when it was in the beginning parts of my investigating. Yeah, I know, Chris, dealing with fear. It's called sucking it up and getting on with it. I know, mate, I hear, but you're right. I will get to that part. there are coping mechanisms for that, and the thing is, though, your passion for investigating can also be what drives you to go into these locations as well. It's the curiosity, and that takes over time, and that's what's helped me too. So you make a very valid point there, Chris. So yeah, I wouldn't go into these places, and I've missed out. And of course now I have to spend a heap of money to be able to go back, and if I want to go into those locations and actually investigate them again. So I think embracing the fact that we have fear, embracing the fact it happens, and the fact that it's a normal psychological thing to happen to you, to your body, to your mind. I think that's equally as important. And it's not considered a fear at all in any way, shape or form, or not fear, like a weakness in any way, shape or form. I think it's really important, the fact that it does happen from time to time. As I said, I've gotten a lot better. The people I've investigated with, even the last 4 years, can attest to that. So I think embrace it and move through it. Now, moving through it, what do you do? Well, lots of people have different mechanisms. when it comes to dealing with fear. This one in particular has actually helped me, and I learned this a couple of years ago. And at first I went, it's a little bit woo-woo for me. So I have a very logical sort of mindset with it all. I mean, but even particularly with fear, a lot of skeptics will say that, you know, the only thing you fear is just the darkness. But even if that's the case, your body's, one of your senses are taken away. So fear is very real, regardless of its cause. So this particular technique has actually been really handy. Now, excuse the woo-woo. So this particular thing is about meridian points in the body. Okay, so bear with me. At first I was like, oh, please, I'm not going to be doing this in the dark. So what it was is, okay, so there's your hand. This gets really bad, doesn't it? There's your hand. And I think of this as a main point right here, okay? So I'm going to sort of put my hand there for a sec so you can actually see. So think of this as the actual center part of your hand. Oh, it happens to UFO as well, Cheryl. See, there you go. See, it's not just me. Thank you, Cheryl. So yes, so it's a tapping point is here. Now it's this part of your nail there, right? So if you tap there, but then you tap here. So as I said, thinking of this as your center of your hand, and here, and then in the middle, that part here. So that part of your nail, it's the corner part, just kind of right there. Then there, and then there. Now, technically, this doesn't have a meridian point, but I just do it anyway because I kind of think when I'm a little bit anxious, I'm not going to be thinking about this particular finger. Trust me. So it's here, 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 and here. Now, of course, doing that in public will make you feel a little self-conscious. It won't even actually help really much with your fear. But the thing is, though, there is a way you can actually do it without actually looking really obvious, and that's by using it with your one hand. Now you tap, so it's thumb, finger, 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 finger. So thumb, finger, 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 thumb, finger, 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 and actually gets to the point where you just tap like this constantly. And if you do that, now the thing is though, this is actually quite discreet. So you can actually do this if you're at your desk at work and you're about to make that horrible phone call. If you're in a dark place, like in a location when you're investigating, you can actually put your hand in your pocket or have it behind your back. It's been taught to people who are dealing with court situations and kids who are actually dealing with bullying as well. There's that too. So it's actually it's drug-free. It's about, you know, woo-woo meridian points and all that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm open-minded. I may be logical, but I'm open-minded. And I've actually found it has helped me. It's helped me a lot with particular situations that I've been in, not just in the paranormal as well. So give it a shot. Just the fingers, just tap through like that. If you're ever in a situation where you're feeling that you're not necessarily suffering, but you're feeling that you want to move through particular fear and anxiety, give it a shot. If nothing happens, nothing happens. I know a lot of skeptics will probably say it's probably placebo effect, where actually using your fingers like that will actually be, because you've told yourself like that, that's actually going to work. Maybe that is the case. We don't know. But I have found that's actually helped. And if placebo effect is helping me, then I'm going to keep doing it because it's free. So that's the first thing. With fear, try that, give it a shot, see how you go. I found that's helped me when it comes to investigating in places that have kind of rattled me a little bit. Now, another thing I wanted to also mention was the fact that I know a lot of these I Want to Know videos and live sessions have been about looking at videos and photos and things that people have actually recorded and actually wanting to be analysed. And I know what it's like to be in that particular situation where something has happened and you want to be able to analyse it further. So it's more from, you know, you've seen something, you've heard something, or you've experienced something or seen somebody else that's experienced something as well. And sometimes I can, like in the past, can get very caught up in the moment. So being able to actually dissect that from a strategy perspective is really, really important. And so I've actually pulled together a little email course, which actually gives you a 3-step strategy on how to actually look at phenomena. So if something does happen, okay, so where do you go? Like, of course, there's the emotional side of like, oh, something's happened. I can't explain it. Geez, this would be great if this was something. And we all go through that. We all do have that hope. And then, of course, all right, I'm back down to earth. What's happened? How am I going to pull this together? Okay, so this happened. What does that mean? So if this happened, what does that mean? Is it psychologically? Is it environmental? So, and it pulls apart just in a 3-step process, just to give a bit of an idea of how to pull that information together when you're in and out and investigating. And don't worry, you'll actually get a free checklist with that as well, with a little information sheet too. So you can actually take that with you when you go out investigating as well. So it gives you a bit more, for something to refer to when you're out there. If you're somebody who hasn't ever experienced anything, then this can actually be something you can take with you in case something does happen, and also to someone else as well, because we can, get wrapped up in the emotion of a particular experience and actually not look at it from a logical perspective, which is the best time to actually debunk is right after it happens. We're human. We're human. It's what we're going to do. So, and we want something paranormal to happen. We want something that's going to be unexplainable to happen. That's what we're doing. We're trying to see whether or not that this is tangible and this is real. So being able to put yourself in a logical place and then be able to look at it from a balanced perspective right afterwards, and that's the best time to be able to debunk. So hello, Ron. Good. Oh, I'm glad you were able to join. Hi, Mark. How are you? Good to see you too, mate. See you, hear you. I have to get used to saying something like that. So anyway, so there's some information there for you to take away as well. So I said, fear, it's there. Let's just embrace it as investigators. Try the little trip with the whole sort of finger thing and see how you go, see if it works for you. And also, as I said, I'll post the link to the course, the free email course, if you're interested. It's something that you may want to take with you, give you a bit of perspective and stuff like that when it comes to actually investigating as well. So thank you, everybody. Until the next exciting episode.